Hello, my name is Tony. Once upon a time, on a dreary wet Sunday morning, in a terraced house in a no-horse South Wales town, a fat, idle 12-year-old kid sat on the carpet and flipped through a newspaper. It was probably the news of the world, such were the intellectual proclivities of the household, but that in itself isn't important. Flicking through articles proclaiming such masterpieces of hardcore investigative journalism as Half-Blind Milkman in Alien Abduction Shock and Tory MP breastfed by Chinese prostitute in House of Commons Love Nest scandal and the like, his eyes fell upon a striking little poster for a new film. It was this. The kid was instantly captivated, slowly taking in the information before him. The film was called Kill Charley Varrick, only it wasn't, at least not in the UK. It was just called Charley Varrick. It had an X certificate, instant bait right there. It was from the guy who directed Dirty Harry. And Jack Lemmon's buddy from The Odd Couple was leading. Strange, it didn't seem like a comedy sort of thing, but no matter. The little black and white smudge newsprint poster was enough. The kid committed the information to memory. He was going to see this film. The end. Cut to 18 months later, and Charley Varrick was on the bill at the old Market Hall Cinema and Fruit and Veg Emporium. And off I went, for, as you have probably realised, that kid was yours truly. Look, if you were expecting a twist there, or some other revelation, you're on the wrong channel. I don't have the energy, or creativity, come to think of it. Charley Varrick then, directed by Don Siegel. Siegel was a class act. He'd directed Clint Eastwood in Coogan's Bluff, 2 Meals for Sister Sarah, and The Beguiled, and of course Dirty Harry. He even showed up in support of Clint's first major directing gig, Play Misty for Me, as Murphy, the owner-bartender of womanizing DJ Dave Garver's favourite Carmel watering hole. So when he approached Eastwood about starring in a screen version of John Reese's pulp noir novel The Looters, he expected a favourable response. However, Clint felt the lead character had no suitably redeeming features and turned it down flat, and as it happens, that was the right decision to make. Plot goes like this. Charley Varrick and his wife Nadine run an independent crop dusting operation, last of the independents, out of New Mexico. It doesn't pay so well, so they supplement their income by heisting small, isolated banks in hick towns, along with 2 low-level crims, Sullivan and Dutcher, as backup. The film opens on one such job, with Varrick heavily disguised as an old codger with a broken ankle. Job goes wrong, with the local cops getting involved early due to calling in a check on a dodgy number plate on Varrick's car. Nadine shoots 2 of the local fuzz, but is herself fatally wounded. Dutcher is shot and killed by a security guard. The remainder of the gang make a very messy, destructive, yet ultimately successful getaway with the loot. Nadine dies of her injuries, and Charley and Sullivan leave her body in the getaway vehicle, which they set to explode and burn out with a timed charge. It's only when they get back to Charley's trailer and check the loot, they find they are in possession of $750,000 rather than the $20,000 to $30,000 they were expecting. Sullivan is ecstatic. Charley, not so much. He figures that the bank was being used as part of a money laundering operation by the mob. He knows that people will be coming, looking for both the cash and some payback. The only time they'll stop looking is if they think the thieves are dead. This must be significant because Charley reiterates it several times. Not only do they have the police to contend with, but the mafia of dispatch pipe-smoking, cowboy hat-wearing, psycho-sadistic investigator killer Molly, played by Joe Don Baker, to track them down and exact revenge. What follows is a tense and stylish game of cat and mouse, wherein Charley, a clued-in veteran strategist, manipulates the situation and other characters in an attempt to survive and escape in one piece with the money. Charley Varrick is a cool and dynamic little noir thriller, the artistic success of which results from a number of factors. The audience knows that Charley is up to something as we see him breaking into his dentist's office and swapping records around, arranging fake passports for himself and Sullivan from sexy photographer Jewel Everett, Cherie North, and buying dynamite and timers, but we don't know what he's got up his sleeve. The proprietor of the store where he buys the explosive inquires,
"May I ask what that's for?"
Charley's response,
"Certainly may."
and that's as far as it goes. The viewer is in the same boat, and the element of mystery makes the film intriguing and effectively holds the attention. Charlie leaves Sullivan open to attack from Molly. He's cutting him loose because Sullivan rejected his advice about laying low and not spending the money for 2 or 3 years. His expressed alternative lifestyle choice is the intention to go on a wild, ostentatious spending spree, which, given the situation, would be disastrous. Although Sullivan is a jerk and a liability, he's played by Andy Robinson, last seen as the crazed killer Scorpio in Dirty Harry. It seems very cold and clinical of Varrick to hide safely outside the trailer whilst Molly beats him to death. But this flick revolves around characters who are generally not nice people, and that includes Charlie, who, it can be added, finds a particular use for Sullivan's corpse later on, the man being more functionally supportive dead than when he was alive, to be honest. Varrick is no hero. He's a ruthless pragmatist, a survivor. He leaves the body of his wife and longtime partner to burn in a getaway car after tenderly kissing her goodbye and then removing her wedding ring. Sentimentality is something that doesn't hold him back. He is a stone-cold realist at heart. Boyle, the bank president and legitimate face of the mob, another slickly villainous turn from John Vernon. As a secretary, Sybil, the eternally cute Felicia Farr, and Charlie exploits her in order to make contact with Boyle and set him up. This involves sleeping with her, knowing that she is Boyle's mistress. You old dog. Varrick is, on paper, someone we should perceive as unsympathetic. That he isn't, that we are on his side, is all down to Walter Matthau's skilled performance. Matthau, with his lugubrious hangdog features and sharp comic timing, infuses the character with a sort of world-weary charm, brings a lightness of touch to his portrayal, so that he's seen as more a likeable rogue than self-serving sociopath. No matter how calculated and callous his actions, you find yourself fighting his corner. You want him to get away with it, and you want to see how he does it. Eastwood, at this developmental point in his career as an actor, would not have been a good fit, and he saw it right off, whereas Matthau, older, more weathered and seasoned, fits the bill perfectly. Despite being automatically thought of as a comic actor, if confirmation of his serious dramatic acting credentials is needed, I would suggest watching The Laughing Policeman from 1973. Be under no illusions though, there are no laughs in that film, in which he gives the starkest and darkest portrayal of his entire career. Don't expect to be uplifted in any way, that's all I'm saying. Screenwriters Dean Reisner and Howard Rodman had previously collaborated on Coogan's Bluff for Siegel. Reisner also worked on Play Misty for Me and Dirty Harry. The script is a sharp, well-paced and medium hard-boiled concoction. Score by Lalo Schifrin starts out as a mediocre sitcom piano motif played over the deceptively banal opening credits. Faintly pastoral melodies accompany visual snippets of farms, hick townships and semi-rural communities. A little girl plays with a garden sprinkler in the sunshine, for crying out loud, and a stereotypical teenage chick mows the lawn in hot pants, for Christ's sake. Another kid messes around with a donkey. All is soft focus, saccharine and sunbeams. The audio content soon morphs into one of Schifrin's more familiar, funky, propulsive compositions as the heist suddenly kicks in and things get serious, shattering that false sense of security you were just lulled into, with gunshots, blood, car chases and death. Well, what do you think was gonna happen? Don Siegel is a masterful director. He has more enduring cinema classics under his belt than most. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Hell is for Heroes, The Killers, Madigan, Coogan's Bluff, 2 Meals for Sister Sarah, The Beguiled, Dirty Harry, The Shootist, Escape from Alcatraz. I would add Charley Varrick to this list of notables because I think it's more than worthy of inclusion. The supporting cast is a great portmanteau of familiar faces from films and TV shows of the time. Andy Robinson is only marginally less creepy and loathsome than he was in Dirty Harry, but even so, what Varrick orchestrates for him is almost enough to elicit sympathy on his behalf, but perhaps not quite. Joe Don Baker is on fine form as the lethal misogynistic button man Molly. John Vernon gives a good account as the insidiously unpleasant Boyle, who drives the meek bank manager Young to blow his brains out by cruelly outlining what he can expect when the mob comes calling. Felicia Farr radiates a very cute mature sexuality, and Cherie North is an always welcome feminine distraction here and in any number of contemporary crime movies and TV series in which she appeared. All things considered, it's somewhat surprising that Charley Varrick wasn't a box office hit. It seems that Walter Matthau didn't like the completed film, despite winning an award for his performance. The 1974 British Academy of Film and Television Arts gave him their Best Actor statuette thing. I don't know if reflection over time changed his opinion any. Probably not. He could be a miserable old sod. What's important to me, though, is I like it. I like it a lot. It's exciting, clever, and a bit quirky and playful in that darkly cynical way specific to the early 70s. One critic described it as intelligent commercial filmmaking at its finest, and I couldn't agree more. If 70s noir-tinged action thrillers are your bag, you'll want to see it, because it stands along with The Outfit and Prime Cut as one of the best examples. If you don't care for such things, then give it a miss. But that begs the question, what the hell are you doing here? You just wasted your time. But then I suppose it's your time to waste. So what's it to me? Kill Charley Varrick? See Charley Varrick. You know it makes sense. Thank you, as always, for your time and attention. It is gratefully appreciated. If so inclined, you could always strike like, dent don't like, shoot subscribe, or crop dust a comment. Meanwhile, here's a song called Burning Rome. The very tenuous link being it was originally written in the 70s whilst I was being held against my will in detention by my French teacher. Don't misinterpret this as even remotely euphemistic. She was neither French nor much of a teacher. She was a withered old bat who hated me with the vengeance of an ancient god of pestilence and plague. I was being punished for something, can't remember what, but I'm pretty sure it was something I was guilty of, as is the way of such things. I thought I'd spend my time constructively. The jury's still out on that. The devil finds work for idle hands. How do we never understand? There's no telling why. Precious time with imagined sin, exercise from where it's never been. There's no telling why. Confessions never known, schools in session, pupils blown, false impression, danger zone, getting busy, burning Rome. It's certain I'm not going home, I'm burning Rome. Flame to an ancient land, on the fiddle in a one-man band. There's no telling why. Kicking out in your Sunday best, drink the wine and leave the rest. There's no telling why. Confessions never known, schools in session, pupils blown, false impression, danger zone, getting busy, burning Rome. It's certain I'm not going home, I'm burning Rome. I'm incognito going out, so much I recognize. Even I don't know who I am, it's that good a disguise. Hey, a word to the wise. The devil finds work for idle hands. He's the man with a gilt-edged plan. There's no telling why. Lost your mind on the road somewhere, looking back when there's nothing there. There's no telling why. Confessions never known, schools in session, pupils blown, false impression, danger zone, getting busy, burning Rome. It's certain I'm not going home, I'm burning Rome. It's certain I'm not going home. I'm burning Rome, burning Rome, burning Rome, burning